to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. Now, I don't know about you, but do you find yourself getting nervous or anxious, perhaps in presentations or informal gatherings? A lot of people do, and the client that I was working with in this particular session would have a weekly huddle where they would present to their team of about 35 people, and they would get anxious. And sometimes that anxiety would get a bit too high where they felt like they couldn't breathe, they couldn't talk. Not great if you are actually presenting to a room full of people. This hypnosis session is designed to make a high stakes environment where the anxiety was linked to a fear of judgment, and that fear of judgment was linked to a fear of losing the respect of people that they really respected and valued. That takes a conversation with the team and turns it into a really high stakes environment of catastrophization. This hypnosis session helps them feel resourceful, calm, confident, something they get to do rather than have to do, and well within their comfort zone. And also, there are certain coping strategies like deep breaths or asking for the input of other people within the actual open conversational or informal gathering or huddle that they had, and a few get out of jail free cards. And the key to a get out of jail free card, to use this Monopoly metaphor, is to have something that you're probably never going to need, but just knowing that you have it is enough of a help. So if anxiety is caused by the possibility of getting anxious, and you know that even if you get anxious, there's something that you can do to immediately take the attention away from you, then that in itself reduces the anxiety because you know that you have a contingency in place. So there's a bit going on in this session. At the core of it, it's feeling resourceful and confident in a more extreme gathering of 500 people, so that when they present to their team of 35 people, it feels well within reach. It was created for an individual, a founder of a business. Some of the suggestions might not be relevant to you. So if you do like the idea of a hypnosis session bespoke and customized for you and your circumstances, there will be a link in the show notes in the actual file description here where you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you're not going to be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, set the intention to breathe out for longer than you normally would. And as you breathe in a feeling of resourcefulness. And as you exhale, release any fear of judgment, any standards that are just excessively high. It's good to have high standards, but impossible or unfair standards are no longer needed, so allow them to be released in that long outward breath. Breathing in a feeling of resourceful relaxation and exhaling any tension, stress, or worries. That's it. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. That's it. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. want you to think of a memory, a time when you felt in rhythm, in flow. You felt authentic, congruent, exuding integrity. I want you to observe that version of you, presenting updates, ideas, in a genuine, authentic way. I want you to observe the version of you that is so aligned with that authentic, genuine version of them, that they are immune to judgment. Water off a duck's back. And when you can recall that time when that was you, that all the necessary beliefs, strategies, and ways of thinking were there in you, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that version of you. Activate the version of you that knows you deserve to say what needs to be said. No need to sugarcoat, spin. Saying it as it is. And when you feel that you're willing to say what needs to be said, to share updates where people need to be updated, you are simply the vessel, the messenger. You are the conduit. I want you to get a feeling of how comfortable that feels. And then imagine having that feeling relaxed, confident and calm. And then imagine a particular space that you might share information around a huddle. Maybe there's a particular place that you would sit or stand. And just imagine sitting or standing in that place. And I want you to imagine that people start to arrive. And just notice how long that outward breath is. Not by design, it just happens to be that way. And the longer you breathe out, the more you breathe in, and the more oxygen you have. And I want you to see people arriving, sitting, standing, perching. And I want you to feel how natural it feels to engage and interact in small conversations early. I want you to get a sense that you already know how to have conversations. And you can have a conversation with one person, which means you can have a conversation with 2 or 3 at the same time, which means you can have a conversation with more than 30, and it makes no difference. I want you to activate that part that couldn't care less who is there. You will say what needs to be said. You've earned your place to say it. And because you're saying what needs to be said, you are immune from any judgment. People can have opinions just as you have yours. And that's all they are. I want you to imagine you're starting to share the general updates. And as you do, more people arrive. And I want you to feel empowered, inspired, emboldened it reaches a point where it doesn't matter if it's 5, 15, or 50. You're just sharing what needs to be shared. I want you to feel empowered by it. You don't have to do this. You get to do this. You choose what you say, how you say it, your tonality, your rhythm. It's all yours. And even if you feel anxious, that's just evidence of your authenticity. And even if you struggle for the occasional breath, you're 2 breaths away from feeling completely composed, relaxed, and empowered. And even if you felt that there was a moment where you couldn't talk in the same rhythm that you would normally talk, you have so many options. Ask a question. Ask for an opinion. If someone wants to contribute, pass the baton to someone else that could take over on that point before they hand the baton back to you. Or even play a recording that isn't random but intentional. Something that would make sense to play whenever it needed to be played. I want you to think of how many flights you've been on in your life. And all of them had those safety vests. All of them had those breathing masks. And not once have you needed to use it. That's what a contingency is. You feel safer knowing it's there, knowing that you'd never need to use it. But you can if you really need to. As you breathe in and breathe out, imagine a huddle of 500 people. I want you to imagine the most intimidating faces. People with incredible track records, strong opinions, extreme personalities, unpredictability, and still connect with that feeling of feeling calm, composed, and that you deserve to be there. Feel the muscles in your cheeks smiling when you're talking. And notice how your belly moves rather than your chest when you breathe. And notice that when your attention is on the people in the room rather than yourself, the words naturally come. I want you to get a sense that what if the next few weeks are a gift, an opportunity for you to really feel comfortable, so that when things return to their normal patterns and rhythms, you feel that whenever you need to host something on your own, you can do it. In the same way, you don't think about driving a short journey, you just know you can do it. And I wonder how long it will be before these huddles and gatherings feel so far within your comfort zone. It almost feels like you don't need to think about it or prepare, because it's so within your field of competency. Feel how you would feel if you were immune to being judged. Connect to that feeling that this is a low-stakes situation your resources vastly exceed the demands. You're choosing to be there. It's a privilege to share updates with a team built around a vision. This is no punishment, no chore, a gift, a privilege. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And the easier it becomes, the more you enjoy it. Until one day you can imagine a bigger team, a bigger huddle, sharing important information, and it feels like a walk in the park. And then imagine it going from 500 people to 35. Imagine those people and feel that, in contrast, it feels well within your capabilities. And even if there's a question, you can handle it. Even if there's anxiety, you're 2 breaths away from releasing it. And even if you feel whatever you feel, it's all temporary and real and manageable. And when your unconscious accepts that this is within the realms of your competency and capability, a low-stakes situation where nothing bad can happen, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And that part is giving you permission to relax, release, and even enjoy. And then imagine that gathering comes to an end. And maybe you feel not relief but pride. You've been true to yourself, said what needed to be said. You've been authentic, and that's enough. You've decided that being authentic and real and genuine is worth more than being perfect. And as you accept that change, the stakes get lowered even more, and you feel emboldened, empowered, and inspired, looking forward to the next opportunity to host that huddle. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.